Okay, now I remember what you said when you played in Denver. This was going through my mind. I think you just hit your second shot. And so, you're getting into the game, but you popped off like, I'm heating up now, I'm heating up. I'm like, yeah, you got two, like you heating up. But it's just like an irrational confidence is the best way to put it, I'd say. Like, and you have to have that. Both you guys know you have to have that in the NBA. You have to have that to be a professional athlete of any caliber. Yo, welcome back to the Old Man of the Three. I'm your host, Cam Johnson, joined by my co-host, Tommy Alter. Today we have two very special guests, the Spencer brothers. Tommy?
What's up, fellas?
What's up? Appreciate you having us.
Busy time in your lives, I would say.
Definitely starting to pick up a little bit. Definitely a little busy around here for sure.
We did an amazing episode. The three of us did an amazing episode back in the spring. A lot has happened since then. Cam, I know, has a bunch of questions, so we'll throw to those in a second. Pat, I got a specific question for you, though. I don't think we didn't talk about on the show or offline, really. How similar are your celebrations in basketball to lacrosse?
Pretty similar. I could get a little bit more active, a little bit more physical on the lacrosse field. So, but very similar. And quite frankly, I black out every time I do it. So, unfortunately, they've made their way around and had enough people send them to me. But hopefully I'm not held accountable for anything I say during those moments.
I love that. Yeah. You were definitely popping off when you guys played here in Denver in the in-season tournament. Same with you, Cam. We just played you guys the other day. Who's the bigger crash out between you two, would you say?
Depends.
Go ahead, Pat.
That's just on the golf course, I'll tell you who. It's night and day. It just depends on who's having a bad day. Someone's got to lose every day, though. So one of us is going to have a moment.
It's pretty similar, but it's funny when you're on the winning side. Not only you're happy that you won, but then you get to kind of see the entertainment of the other one. Slamming clubs or kicking the ball left and right. That's the probably best part of winning.
As you try to look away and not laugh right in their face.
Nah, you can't hide it. You can't hide it. I'm one of four boys in my family. I have three brothers. We are a little bit bigger in an age gap. My older brother's 3.5 years older than me, and then my younger brothers are 4.5 years. What's the age gap between you guys?
4 years.
Yeah, 4 years.
And are you the only? Do you have any other siblings?
Yeah, we have one younger brother. He's 2 years younger than me. I'm the middle one. And then Pat's 4 years older than myself, and then 6 years between him and Will.
6 years. I mean, 6 years is crazy, dude. Like when you're growing up, obviously, like the age difference. 6 years, he was getting his butt whooped quite a bit. Cam tried to keep up. Like 4 years. Think about where you're at, high school versus college. Like in childhood, there's no real gap where 4 years is kind of similar. We're just now kind of at the point in life where, physically, like we're both fully developed and like now we go at each other. But I always had the leg up, still do, but always had the leg up.
I gotta give him strokes. I gotta help him out.
Had the leg up growing up just because I had 4 years on.
How often do you guys get out and golf together?
The off season, a ton. He was in Memphis for most of the summer this year, but fortunately, you know how it goes. When you're a rookie, you got to be back there. So hopefully this summer we'll get home a lot more together. We probably play 2-3 times a week.
Yeah. We honestly just go work out in the morning, play pickup, and then golf it up, eat, go do it again.
What do y'all think the most random thing you're super competitive at is?
We had some competitive ping pong.
Yeah, ping pong for sure. We joke like little stuff that's like shouldn't even be competitive, but like it irks us. Like we do hibachi all the time, and when the chef like flips you like the shrimp, like we don't catch it on the first one, like it kind of kills inside a little bit. Like we know
the meal does not taste as good after that.
Like we know deep down, like this is the first one. Like I know it hurt him a little bit. Same with me.
You're like, we're leaving.
You let the family down in that moment.
Cam, did y'all have this too?
Absolutely. Same thing. Like I said, the age gap between my brothers and I, and Pat, man, you hit it on the head. Like it is so hard, especially until maybe college is when you start to catch up. But up until then, it's so hard to overcome a 4-year age gap. And there's 4 of us. So it's just like my youngest brother, Braylon, never stands a chance in anything. He's used to just getting his teeth kicked in every game possible. But the rest of us, we definitely go at it, man. And it can be anything, dude. Like we used to have the craziest FIFA 2-on-2s. Like the craziest FIFA 2-on-2s. It'd be me and my youngest versus my older brother and then the other middle brother. And I'm talking like controllers thrown, fights almost started, people dancing and crying and yelling. And I'm like, my youngest brother, you always got to try to flip the switch to get him to be competitive. So next thing you know, he's getting upset. Parents are called onto the scene to try to diffuse it. But it's pretty much in everything we do, man. It was just like you had to compete. And it stemmed into our careers. Like it stemmed into our college basketball careers, into our high school basketball careers. Everybody was always trying to leg up one another and who scored more points here, whose team won more championships and who made it the furthest in their career. So I know exactly what you guys are talking about, man. And I love to hear it.
I appreciate it. We joke about it. Like we could kill each other literally like when we play, but when we're not competing, we're each other's biggest supporters. So I'm sure you feel the same way. It's so cool to go watch your brother play and compete. I'm watching Memphis games every single night. I'm sure you're watching your brothers play every night, so nothing better than that.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. What's it like watching your little brother, Pat? Like, do you see shades of yourself when he plays? Is he his own player? What's that like?
Yeah, definitely his own player. But we train, we do everything together. Can't give away the scout on him. Like we know each other's tendencies. We know each other's games like the back of our hand. But just more than anything, just super proud. We put in the work together time and time again. So we know how hard each other's worked, and just thankful that it's come to fruition and to be able to see him do what he's doing. I knew he was always capable of it. It's just a matter of whether or not you get that opportunity.
Pat, we talked, and I know Cam has some questions about it. He wasn't on the last step, but we talked a lot about sort of your journey last time you were on the show, which is you've been getting I feel like every couple months it gets a renewed amount of attention when people kind of understand what's going on. But I'm kind of curious for you on a basketball standpoint with the increased usage, just over the last, couple of weeks because of all the injuries you've sort of been thrown into extended minutes. Have you had to change anything process-wise or anything like that, just with what has been kind of forced onto you because of the circumstances?
No, I just think it just given me another level of confidence. I always had the belief in myself, but to have the staff back me the way they have, to have the locker room behind me, just gives you a whole nother level of confidence to go out there and just play your game. So, shooting the ball at a much higher level, obviously, I think anybody can speak to it across the league. When you come in and you play 2 to 3 minutes, it's pretty tough to find a rhythm, especially as a shooter. But to be able to have the ball in my hands and be able to play make and orchestrate a little bit more, gives me a whole nother level of confidence. And shooting just becomes a much easier task. When you're coming in and you're flying around being an energy guy, it's pretty tough to lock in as a shooter. But to be able to know that I'm going to play an extended 6 to 8 minutes here and there, it's much easier to find a rhythm and a flow out there.
At what point were you like, all right, I did lacrosse thing. I had success here. I loved it. It's time for me to move on to basketball. And when you made that switch, what was your mindset? What was your confidence level? Where did you think you were going to be able to take that?
Yeah, it happened pretty early for me. I played 4 years of college lacrosse, but full transparency, I almost left after my freshman year of lacrosse to go play hoops. I just missed it that much. I actually contacted my high school coach and a few college coaches that I knew, and just said, "Hey, I miss it too much. Can you ask around and see what's available, see if there's an opportunity to maybe get some workouts?" And decided to go back on that. I felt like I owed it to Loyola, where I played lacrosse, to see it through for 4 years. They gave me an opportunity. I only had 2 offers come out of high school for lacrosse. So I just felt like I owed it to those guys. Didn't want to give up what I had done there. Grandparents are a huge part of my life. My family is a huge part of my life. It was 50 minutes from home. So I had brothers, aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody, you name it, coming to games. And so we had gone to the Final Four my freshman year. It just felt like a really weird time to step away. And so I decided that I was going to put hoops on the back burner and see it through with lacrosse, but ultimately knew that I could play a 5th year. Greg Paulus played hoops at Duke. and then went on to play fifth year of football at Syracuse. I just knew it was an opportunity, and so I spent the latter part of my summers in college while I was playing lacrosse, only playing basketball, just to keep my hand in it and stay in shape. So the NBA might sound a little crazy. The NBA was always the goal, even while I was playing college lacrosse. And to this day, I still joke. And I have buddies who were going to Wall Street and doing their thing in lacrosse, and they used to bust my balls a little bit about, what are you going to do after college? And I said, well, I plan on going to the NBA. And they're like, yeah, okay. But ultimately, that was the goal for me the whole time was once I hung up the stick was to get to where I'm at.
You only had 2 lacrosse offers?
Yeah, I had 2. I was 5'4", 120 pounds. I was like a freshman in high school. And when I was coming up, they were recruiting kids in like 8th and 9th grade. Like I had buddies committing pre-high school for college. So they finally changed the rule back. You can't commit till like after junior year, September 1. But I mean, dude, at 5'4", 120 pounds, I had to pick between AAU and lacrosse. It seemed like lacrosse was probably a little bit more of a viable option at the time. It's still the same competitor I was, still wanted to play something at a really high level. But 5'4", 120 didn't look like Duke or UNC was going to be calling anytime soon for hoops.
Did you have any high school basketball recruiting? What was that like?
Yeah, so didn't grow till later. And by senior year, I was already signed for lacrosse. And so I felt like I owed it to those guys. I had a buddy who went on to play at Stanford, and he had a bunch of coaches. I'm sure in high school, they come check you out all the time at workouts and whatever it might be. So they would check me out and then ask my coach about me. But it was pretty straightforward with where I was at that time in my life in terms of going on to play lacrosse.
So no teams really push for you like, hey, man, like we have this opportunity for you, or you just weren't hearing it at all?
I heard that, but I just kind of kept it real pretty quickly right away with them. So like I said, those guys at Loyola were one of 2 schools to recruit me and gave me a nice deal considering that I had no other offers, and just felt like the type of people I wanted to be around. And honestly, I wouldn't change it for the world. It was one of the best years of my life.
Cam, what was your high school recruiting experience like?
Yeah, I mean, pretty similar. I just had the one offer to Loyola, Maryland. And I mean, I was always up on campus watching Pat's lacrosse games. That we had like a pretty good relationship with, obviously the lacrosse community, but then, I would go check out some basketball games as well. So just the one offer from Loyola, I was super appreciative of that opportunity to go there and play. But yeah, pretty under recruited as well. Not too many offers for me.
Did you feel like you maybe could eventually outgrow that situation? Did your college career kind of take a trajectory that you expected, or was it unexpected?
I mean, honestly, at the time, like the transfer portal wasn't really a thing. So I was just super focused on being at Loyola and playing well, trying to, win the Patriot League championship and get into March Madness to try to make a run there. So I would say I just treated every year like trying to get better. And, similar to Pat, like my goal was always to get to the NBA. And I think you play against other guys who are at higher levels or higher colleges, and you kind of know where you stand, and you're like, I'm pretty sure I can do this. But obviously, to play on a bigger stage, I ended up transferring a couple times and just wanted to compete at the highest level and, eventually get to the NBA.
Cam, did you feel like I was looking at the numbers earlier, shooting close to 46% from 3. Obviously, your playmaking is way up in general. We were talking before we started recording, and we'll get to this a little later, but just how well the team is playing in general. But do you feel like your game over the last couple of years offensively has kind of changed at all, or you just feel like this is sort of the natural progression of where you were always headed?
I mean, I'm confident. Like I feel like I'm a capable player and have been. Feel like each summer I try to work on a small thing in my game and just try to make a weakness a strength, or just try to get a little bit better at every aspect of the game. But I think on an NBA floor, these guys can attest to it. Like the more minutes you get, the more you can kind of get the opportunity to show that you're more than a shooter. Or obviously, I think being a shooter, that'll get you on the floor, and then what keeps you on the floor is obviously defense and impacting winning. So yeah, I just honestly try to continue to work on my game and get better day by day, and let the chip fall where they may.
What did you see, Cam Johnson, when you played those guys, when you played Memphis? Because there's been so many positive signs across the board.
Well, from a team perspective, man, like they move the ball. Like they're so dedicated to breaking you down off the dribble, getting into the paint, creating an advantage, and then always working to generate a great open look. Sometimes even passing up what may look like to be a semi-easy 2 for a couple passes away for a wide open 3. And they play with kind of a pace that's impressive, and it makes you scramble as a defense and really have to kind of lock in and guard. They can put up points in a hurry that way. So you really got to be locked into that when you're playing against them.
What do you think makes Coward so good for, a guy who's just kind of figuring out the NBA?
I think a lot of things. I mean, number one, we were talking about like his attitude as a player. He's a great teammate, continuously trying to learn and get better and watching film to just see where he can be better. I think he can shoot the ball. He can get into the mid-range and play out of there. And then defensively, I mean, as a rookie, he's guarding, some of the better players on the other teams. He's got a crazy wingspan. I think it's probably 7'2" or something like that. So he's a good defender as well. And like I said, a great teammate, always trying to get better.
Pat, I want to go back to the thing we started with, which was the blackout in the celebration. I was watching a lacrosse one you did. You did a gladiator celebration in a playoff game. We'll pull the clip up and show it when we cut this out. During the Cleveland game, just what was going through your head with when you put into context everything that you guys had basically accomplished with who was playing and who wasn't playing? Like what were you thinking, if you can remember any of it in the last 5 minutes?
Well, dude, we had just blown the lead to Philly like 2 nights before that on an inbound play. So a kind of a deja vu moment where Donovan Mitchell didn't get it going until late. So that was a blessing for us. They were on a back-to-back. They were definitely a little bit slow. I think like half their bench was out, which was great. I mean, shit, we were missing 3 of our starters too. So 4 of our main guys. So honestly, dude, for us right now, it was just about finding an identity. This whole past week and a half has been pivotal for us. Anybody that's been around the league for a long time knows that when number 30 and Dre are on the court together, there's clearly an identity that we have as a team. But we're really fighting to find an identity with our second unit within those Jimmy-only minutes. And so for me, it was an opportunity to come in and kind of orchestrate playing the ball screen a bit more and get the ball popping side to side. We have some really capable guys in the second unit of playing fast. They're a little bit older on the front end. And so I think those guys, they'll play faster, but the pace of the league is just getting absurd now. And so I think there's an opportunity for those guys to play the way they played, but also for our second unit to come in and kind of wear some teams down. So really, really happy that we kind of had this week to figure that out as a group. But as far as the celebrations and anything that goes on after the positives, I can't give you too much there. It's just whatever happens, happens.
Cams, what were you? Because I texted both of you guys afterwards. What were you guys thinking? Both of you.
Okay, now I remember what you said when you played in Denver. This was going through my mind. I think you just hit your second shot, and so you're getting into the game, but you popped off like, I'm heating up now. I'm like, yeah, you got 2, like you heating up, but it's just like an irrational confidence is the best way to put it. I'd say and you have to have that. Both you guys know you have to have that in the NBA. You have to have that to be a professional athlete of any caliber. But I think what you both embody that I love is that irrational confidence.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, for me, I've seen it before. I was hyped as fuck though for the Philly one. Like I was like, man, I wish I was at the game. I'd be on the court with them damn near. I probably would have gotten thrown out. I was just so hyped for them. But I mean, it goes back to the lacrosse field where like he would have celebrations and it goes quiet and like you're still chirping guys for him. Like I was just a proud brother in that moment.
We've got about appreciate the compliment first, Cam, but we've got a million stories of like Cam almost getting into a fight with like a dad in a Colgate like Blizzard lacrosse game. Like I almost got tossed out of his Navy game for blacking out and running down the stairs to like yell at the ref. Like we have so many funny story that we go back to.
What was the Colgate one?
Colgate they had this like little goalie who was chirping all the time, and his dad was like came over to the Cam was barking at him from the sideline too, rightfully so, and I was barking at him, so we were both just like double teaming, just laying into him on the field, and so the kid dad like came down and stood next to Cam, and Cam's like a freshman in high school at the time. my dad was like, all right, then I'll go down. So my dad goes and stands on the other side of him. So then it's just my dad and
in the middle.
then we're seeing the dude dad, and we're just barking at the goalie, just chirping him the whole time. And then we ended up crushing him. It was like
It was funny because Dad and I were at the beginning of the game. Like we drove up to Colgate. I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's literally in the middle of nowhere. And we drove like, I want to say 7 hours through a blizzard. And they were terrible. Like, we knew Loyola would probably win, but we didn't want to miss Pat's game. It was a Saturday. We were like, we might as well go up. And we look at each other. It's a full-on blizzard during the game. We're like, why did we come to this shit? Like, why are we here? And then that story ended up happening where we almost got into the fight, and we were like, well, we made it worth our trip.
Did you get, Pat, by the end at Loyola, did you have more people chirping you? Was it a thing where you had like a rep for that thing, or was it kind of just like they leave you alone?
Most guys are pretty chill because I loved it. Like, if you started talking, I think I played better. So I don't know if like guys didn't do it on purpose or what, but I didn't have too many guys fire me up. Lacrosse, dude's so different. Like hoops, I can't like just like run you over. Like I gotta still kind of keep my cool. I still have to be able to like have my breath to shoot a great shot. Like all those things. It's such a skill game that way. Like lacrosse, I could just get the ball and just run somebody over, slash the shit out of them. Like, it's just different. So, there were some guys that were up for the challenge that would bark a bit, but I loved it. So,
when you look at the other great competitors, obviously, in multi-sport, but just for basketball purposes, for this conversation, when you look at the other great competitors you face, do you have certain, not even like you like certain guys where you're like, I don't want to say anything to, but certain people where you're just kind of like what you're saying, Pat, of like, maybe let sleeping dogs lie. And like somebody might just be kind of on, airplane mode, chilling. And then you say the wrong thing. And then all of a sudden you just fucking spark it and right away.
Yeah, there's a handful of guys across the league that you're like, if they're having a low key night, just let them have that night. Like, there's no need to poke the bear and get them going. We've got one of them on our team. Like Steph is like rarely has an off night, but he's such a good dude. If you say something pisses him off, and you light a fire and let him go for 30, then you feel like a fool. So yeah, there's some guys. There's definitely there's some strategy behind the trash talk for sure. But then there are times where you just go berserk and just black out and go nuts too. So there's strategy to it, but yeah, it's part of the game.
Cam, do you agree with that? We've all seen your clip with KD. I feel like it's safe to say that you don't really care much.
Yeah.
But if it's on your mind, you'll say it.
Yeah. I don't think we really have a filter. Like, there's some trash talk that's like, you can't guard me this, but like, I feel like we would both say, like, we're trying to trash talk to get you out of your game. Like, we really want you to feel the words that we're saying. I mean, I feel like this is how we grew up. Like, we're talking trash. Like, we want to make the other one cry. We want to make them quit. Like, you're trying to make it personal to a level. So, I mean, we're like two different people, I would say, on the court versus like if we're doing anything competitive versus off the court. Like, it's just how we grew up. So I think it's a part of the game. And like Pat said, I think we do feed off of it. Like, the more trash talk there is, the better.
Like, I feel like this is it's interesting to think about as a fan. This probably exists in multiple sports, but for fans in general of like there's certain arenas in the league, we don't have to name them, that are more dead than others. And it's like the full game can happen and there will be just no buzz, no energy. And it's almost like no matter what happens, unless it goes down to like the last 30 seconds, there's kind of just like, it's almost like this happened and no one's going to remember 15 minutes after the thing is done. But like with a guy like Steph, or even honestly, Pat, in these moments, like with the Cleveland fans or with the Philly fans the other day, like knowing, hey, this dude, if you rile this dude up, it's going to make it worse for us. Like, having that mentality, and this goes back to high school. This is high school, college, pro, everything, of just kind of knowing as a fan, like whose skin you can get underneath and who you should kind of lay off.
Yeah, I think the best part for us, dude, is like we genuinely don't care. Like, so that's the best part. Like, you could literally say, like, yo, you got a speech impediment, or like, yo, like, dude, like, we genuinely don't care. Like, that's awesome. Like, whatever you want to say, like, we'll probably laugh at, and it won't bother us at all. But we know, like, the best feeling is knowing, like, I can get under your skin. So like whatever you say, like I know what you're trying to say to me is like you're trying to hurt me, but it's great because like it really doesn't bother me at all. But I know that when I say something to you, I can get under your skin real quick. And that's the best part, knowing that I can get inside your head like that.
100%.
Cam Johnson, have you had a game going back even to college and high school where someone said the wrong thing and you just blacked out?
Absolutely. I think the one thing that I love to hear in college is when I left Pitt and went to North Carolina, and when student sections would get going about Pitt or about, I'm a traitor, this, that, the other, that always, for some reason, I don't know why, that always lit a fire into me or anything along those lines. Early on in my high school career, I always got from student sections like, "You're not as good as your brother." My older brother was a really, really good high school player, and so that one, man, I love that one. Like, serve that one up to me on a platter, man. I'm all in. And then obviously, I feel like in high school you have those guys that like in your section. I had a couple of them that I just always want to get the best of, so it was always just chirping back and forth, and you definitely learn to love that part of the game, and that's also kind of what becomes a part of growing up with brothers.
Yeah, for sure.
Who are your guys' favorite shit talkers in the league? Like who makes you laugh? Not even like they're doing anything crazy, just makes you laugh.
Well, yeah, I don't have anything off the top of my mind, but I do think it's hilarious when anyone tries Steven Adams and he just like grabs them and just we're gonna go over here. Like, all right. Like, yeah, we're gonna move you. I don't know. I mean, I like funny, I like witty, but I also love like messed up. they don't air the messed up, Like, I mean, Draymond's incredible because he'll say stuff that like he wants it to hurt, and then he'll play it like he doesn't. But I love it.
Draymond's had some unbelievable all-time moments.
You're talking about like
crowd
an entire, like makeup of collage of like who has the best right now. It's got to be him.
The Kings playoff series from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Everything in that entire series, every interaction he had in Sacramento was like a Hall of Fame moment.
That's the best I got for you. He's got to be up there.
He's number one. Just because he doesn't like, he's honestly number one on volume.
Yeah.
Regardless of the quality, he gets volume out
it's
there.
It's like right by the rim too. Like it's like a live free. It's like a free throw, so he knows like the mic will pick it up. It's perfect.
Cam, Spencer, with you guys, with you sort of individually, and then with the Grizz over the next couple of months, like, what do you feel like? Obviously, you want to get healthy, get the whole team healthy. What do you feel like your guys' primary like team objectives are to keep this up?
I mean, I think it all starts defensively. I think that's I think Coach said a stat about us being top 5 on that end of the floor. I think that always helps your offense going forward. I think that affects both sides of the ball more than if your offense is going and your defense isn't. So I'd say it all starts on that end. I feel like we've just learned each other more as a team. I mean, obviously losing somebody like Dez from last year who plays a big scoring role for us. I think guys in and out of the lineup, it's been tough to kind of get some chemistry, but I feel like we've found each other as far as our roles and just the way that we want to play the game with each other. I feel like we have to continue that, and especially the defensive side of the ball. Those are the 2 key things.
Pat, what do you think with when you guys are fully healthy, and Cam saw this opening now, when you guys are fully healthy, you have Hall of Famers, but you're just also super deep. I mean, the roster is 12 deep. What do you, when you look at this team as a sort of a fully healthy group, what do you think, sort of that question in terms of what you are sort of looking for out of this group to to kind of keep up this momentum that you guys have built with all of these injuries?
Yeah, I mean, that's the tough part, right? I think I mentioned it before. I think we found an identity of the team a bit. Obviously, the identity is already there with that first group. Steph, Dre, those guys have been playing together forever. The second group, we played through Jimmy quite a bit. And I think when we play through Jimmy, we had a tendency to play a little bit slower. I think what we found in this road trip is Jimmy's such a high IQ player. He's going to fit into whatever lineup is out there. I don't think we necessarily need as many like slow ISOs as much as we do ball get popping, and now Jimmy gets it on the weak side and he's attacking a closeout. defense isn't set. So just structurally, I think we found a few things that are going to be pivotal for us on this road trip. And then, defensively, we've been pretty dialed in all year. We've laid a couple eggs, but everyone does in the league. Ultimately, for us, we're probably about 12, 13 deep in terms of guys that can play. I think what the staff is battling is you play guys in 3-minute spurts because the pace of the league is up so high and you want guys to be fresh when they're out there. But does that take away from the flow because, they're only playing in 3-minute spurts? Your main guys are going to play 30 minutes a night. That's how it is. But it's really about finding the chemistry between lineups. We just got Melton back. It was pivotal for us last year at the beginning of the year before he got hurt. Another great ball handler, playmaker, scorer, can lock up. So, look, trade deadline comes up too. You don't know who comes available. For us, it's about internally finding who we can be, I think, an identity offensively. And I think we tapped into that a little bit this past week.
I'm curious for all three of you. We did an ep last week with the bunch of the Hawks in Atlanta, and Dyson was talking about the pace thing you're talking about, Pat. In particular, he was saying it was like the biggest of any trend that he's noticed since he's been in the league for the last couple of years. It's that basically everyone's trying to play fast. And it used to be there would be like certain teams that would try to do it, and now it's you can't find the team that isn't. Do you notice that? And if you do notice it, do you think that is like a long-term thing, or do you think that's a thing that that's a thing that's sort of made to be broken? Like it's like this until somebody decides to go a different direction.
Yeah, I think playing fast is. I think people are into it because if you play fast, you crash offensively, you create extra possession for yourself. If you play fast in transition, you're not playing against a set defense. I think the analytics just say anytime that you have to play against a set defense, I'm pretty sure if you looked at all the teams in NBA, their offense in transition would be way higher than PPP. And transition would be way higher than any time they're playing against a dead ball situation against a set defense. So playing fast is kind of like this generic term. You can play fast in a half court as well. I think ultimately what happened is everybody can shoot now, dude. So if you get 5 guys that get out and run, the 3-point line is such a threat now. It just opens up the floor so much. And so I think you're just seeing guys willing to take some tougher threes early on in the shot clock. Sometimes it kills me. Sometimes you watch teams that don't shoot the ball as well. They still play fast. And they take horrible shots. But I think it's going to keep trending that way just because you get so many better shots early if you're running, creating easy offense that way.
I think Pat's spot on with that. The only thing I'll add is scoring's up, and shooting percentages and efficiencies are hanging high alongside it. And so as long as those two are in place, there's no reason to scale it back. It leads to unpredictability for sure, and it leads to hot and cold games. But over the course of a season, when everything kind of evens out, what you're doing, like Pat said, is you're giving yourself extra possessions, and teams are starting to kind of tailor their rosters around that. You see a lot of rim running bigs. You see a lot of guys, some teams have a slower big that they'll play a lot, but you see a lot of guys in that 1 through 4 spot where it's dynamic athletes across the board that can all get up and down and shoot. And so when you have that where there's not as many guys that you can kind of what we call muck off of and help in the lane, is you're able to generate quality looks very quickly, kind of just picking on whatever the defense gives you. And so I think that trend is here to stay, at least for now.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything they're saying. Just going to that point, like it's crazy how like if you have 2 non-shooters on the floor, how much space gets eaten up, to honestly lean more toward the shooters. Like you can just help off of them. And obviously those kinds of players bring something different to the table. Like they're great cutters, they're great rebounders or whatever, right? But I think it also, the pace allows weaker teams to probably compete with the better teams in a way. I think the better teams are typically better if they're playing at their pace and they're playing in the half court. It's probably going to be a long night for the team that's not as talented or better or not as good. So I think we do continue to see the league pace continue to go up. Like Cam said, if the efficiency numbers are there, there's no reason to stray away from it, other than I think the game does slow down and becomes more half court. So I think you just try to find that balance of, the right pace, whether it's, obviously producing the numbers on the offensive end and not taking away from your defense. Just finding that right balance come playoff time is what it's all about. Did
you notice the playoff thing, Pat, in the spring?
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, we played playoff basketball all the way through the end of last year. We were on the hot seat until we got Jimmy, and so our whole last month and a half to 2 months was playoff basketball. We got Jimmy, and our turnovers went straight down. We didn't turn the ball over. We were way more organized offensively. Turned into a little bit more ISO ball, but that just led to cleaner possessions, less runouts. And so I think we tried to get back to that early on this year, and what we found is just everybody's running and gunning, dude. And so, fresh legs, you come in, everyone's rejuvenated after the off season. So a little bit tougher for us to get back to that style of ball. But like Cam said, once the playoffs roll around, some guys aren't in the rotation anymore. You start to target certain guys on defense, and the game does really slow down a bit. So, yeah, like I said, we had about 2.5 months of playoff basketball last year just because of where we were at in the standings.
I'd like to talk about that playoffs one point that they made because it's really valid. And in my experience, a combination of a factor of guys that are on the court, like you said, are playing more minutes. So, you get guys that might play 28 to 31, 32 minutes a night that are playing 35 to 40 minutes a night, which automatically slows you down. There's a physical component of when you are in the half court, you're being touched a lot more. People's hands are on you a lot more. That automatically slows you down. And then just like Pat said, like cherishing every possession and targeting guys that you want to target on the defensive end. All those points are super valid. In the end, guys, I appreciate you guys coming on and joining us, man. It's so funny to hear you guys talk about your dynamic. And man, what a props to you and your family for having two guys playing the league simultaneously. I'm sure your family just absolutely loves that, loves the opportunity to watch you guys play, and are super proud of you guys. So, I just encourage you guys to keep going and make the most of it and continue to have fun and be yourselves like you have been.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, likewise, man. Appreciate it.